Hello, my name is Mushtaq Kapasi. I'm Chief Representative for Asia Pacific for the International Capital Market Association, and I'm very honored to have here for our short conversation with Sasha Sadan, Head of Sustainable Finance of the FCA.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's get right into it. We are here talking about sustainable finance in the global debt capital markets. What have you been seeing lately in terms of the recent trends, any recent developments, especially given all the geopolitical changes and also some of the shifts in the way the market is thinking about sustainable finance?
Well, the market is still growing. There's still so much potential. But what's happened recently is it's sort of grown up a bit. And I think it needed to. There was a lot of people in the old days signing documents and committing things and then working out how hard it was to do. Now people are actually starting to see how they're doing it. Businesses are still looking at their biggest risks, and some of those risks are sustainable finance. Some of those opportunities are in that area. And so people are still doing these things. But it's just business now. I don't think there is a new subsection. We don't see the CEOs and CFOs of companies asking their sustainability officer to talk about these things. It's coming from the CFO. And that means it's starting to be more impactful.
It's become a normal way of doing business.
Absolutely.
That's driven by a real economy.
Which is how it should be. And I think sometimes we overpromised, and we have that phrase greenwashing.
Yes.
But now
indeed.
we are starting to maybe even do the opposite, which I don't mind so much, which is sometimes called green hushing.
Yes.
I just rather people did what they need to do and then tell people after the event, not pre the event.
So how does that translate? How do the current dynamics in the market translate into FCA's own policy, strategy, and approach to supervision? If you say it's business as usual, if it's just part of the real economy, then do you need additional safeguards for sustainable finance or a different approach?
Well, we've been doing that, and of course, this is not about the UK. This is internationally, and I work very closely with my international colleagues. I'm here meeting regulators here today and yesterday, and we're also doing lots of things that really are important. But let me give you some examples. The market wanted to know how we were going to look at greenwashing. So we've given examples of where that is. Most people want to do the right thing.
Right.
And that guidelines has been very helpful. But we gave them guidelines rather than enforcement, because it's a new innovative market and we don't want to squash it too quickly. But of course we want to make sure that there's more comfort. And we've put labelling regime into our funds so that people who want to say some of these phrases are going to have to commit to doing things. And that's obviously helped integrity of the market. But we're not doing that alone, and therefore we're working with our colleagues around the world and at IOSCO and ICMA to make sure that we have the right kinds of guidelines. But absolutely, we needed to do that. But some of it is just pure business sense.
Right. Because of course the market wants some guidance, but they don't, of course, don't want overregulation at the same time.
No, and we're very conscious that it's not our job to promote
Right.
or inform. Just build a place like the exchange. The UK market was 1571. A platform. Make sure that it's using assured data that people can trust, so that there's an integrity, and then people will flow, because guess what? There's money to be made in this area.
So my last question, you're here in Beijing, you're
I am.
traveling from London.
Yes?
Tell us a little bit about some of the conversations you've had with Chinese counterparts who have similar roles or an interest in what the UK is doing. What are some of the messages or perhaps lessons learned even that you've been able to share that would be relevant to the Chinese market?
Well, first of all, China is doing a lot. So this is not, I think people sometimes naively think that there's certain countries doing faster and slower.
Yes.
And one of the most important things that we discuss, and I've been discussing with my colleagues, is getting the same international standards. So ISSB and China having the climate disclosure framework based on ISSB, and the UK doing the same, and 43 other countries doing the same, will help that platform so that we can ask for information. So that's number one. Two, we're asking about ESG ratings and other things that aren't always to do with corporates. And I think that's quite important because it's about the whole of the market. And then three, the transition finance debate is the big one, in my view. It's the really big one. And everyone, and I've seen some of the panelists talking about this, talking about we want international standards. And so we're working with others on the transition finance guidelines. And the UK has already come up with some last Thursday, the Transition Finance Council.
Okay.
And I'm sharing that with my colleagues in China and Hong Kong. But we didn't do that in isolation. We'd already interviewed Chinese banks and institutions to make sure that they were fit for purpose. So there's a lot of collaboration going on, because at the end of the day, we're all going to have to do this.
Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate your insights. I'm looking forward to reading that as well.
Absolutely. Well, I will send it to you.
Okay, thank you. Well, have a great day in Beijing and enjoy the